Welcome to Nameless Debate Radio, where radioactivity is contagious.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember my point here. Actually, I think that whole fingernail conversation completely got me off track. I am sorry.
It's fine. That's the point. Brian.
Yeah.
Brian falls into I think 70% of Australian New Zealanders that I can't stand.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I completely
look like the problem is like I've heard rumors about, and there's a reason I don't interact with Cross. And look, I probably don't disagree with you about a lot of the criticisms you have in the show. However, I don't necessarily think that makes it a terrible show. I don't think it's the best show.
Well, I don't think that the whole misrepresentation of religion aspect, I don't think that's what makes it a terrible show, but I think that's a small factor in it. But overall, I look at the scenes that happens in the show. I look at the writing of it.
Yeah.
I look at especially the climax. The climax, have you watched the entire show?
Yes.
Yeah, the climax was fucking horrible in my mind.
It was weak.
Yeah.
But to say it's horrible is to say
well, it's I find a bunch of reasons aside from the religious misrepresentation aspect of it as to why I think the show is bad. And yeah, when I find a bunch of negatives and I don't find that many positives towards it, yeah, I do think it's just a bad show.
That's how good and bad is decided, and that's the point I was trying to make across. Is that we use heuristics. We use a set of metrics and a set of patterns, and we go, it's bad across. So if we have 10 metrics and we say it's bad across 8, it's probably bad.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's part of the thing is we'll kind of. I guess personally, I moderately enjoyed the show. I didn't take the show too seriously because I also went in with little expectations that it would actually be any good.
Okay.
But I thought it would be trash.
Well, here's the thing. When I do understand the religion, I have a couple books on it that a friend of mine gave to me. When I look at it from a religious perspective, they practically strawman the entire religion. If it was a parody of it, then I would be able to understand that. If it was Weird Al or something, I guess. But they took the name of it, they took aspects of it, and they completely correlated to Wicca, and they misrepresented it completely when you understand the basis of it.
I thought it was more Satanism than Wicca, but more specifically, I guess it blends the two, right?
Wicca is a religion based around magic. They're completely demonizing the magic by saying that it's directly correlated with Satan. When here's the thing, 5 to 10% of actual witches who live in the world believe in Satan. The majority of them don't even think that Satan is an entity that exists.
Yeah, okay, but this is kind of. This is a more interesting argument to have, by the way, than whether or not the
that's what I was trying to get to. And if I failed at that, then that's on me. But the thing is, when you are when 90% of the religion does not believe in something, and yet a giant show comes out using the terms that it uses, using the chronology that it uses, and using the practices of that religion, and misrepresents it by doing something that 9% of those people who follow that religion don't do, would that not be a misrepresentation that you would see is a bit of an injustice?
I'm not sure I'd call it an injustice. I'd just call it a misrepresentation. I don't think that. I don't. Yeah, I don't agree that it's injustice.
Because here's what happens. People correlate the whole witches believe in Satan thing to use as a justification for violence. For instance, and this is just the documented cases in Germany, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, there are 80,000 recorded cases of people being killed because they are witches on the basis of the fact that they believe in Satan.
This is where you'll get kind of attacked on. One, there's actually good argumentation about if you want to argue about witch burning, you want to probably use a more contemporary example because contemporarily does not happen within the West.
Well, what in your sense would be a better contemporary example?
You could actually look up the charity of Stepping Stones Nigeria, where in West Af, which is a charity dedicated to saving from child witch burnings that currently exist today. I watched a documentary on them. I think they've changed their name, but they were called Stepping Stones Nigeria, I think. But you could still Google that and find out about them. Although I would argue they're not having access, probably don't have access to Netflix, so it's not going to influence their society. But is an example of modern witch burnings. And so you could hold that up as an example of when we encourage these things and when we encourage poor representation things and poor beliefs. it could
Well, I
result
feel like
in
that's
violence.
well, I feel like that was what I was trying to say.
Yes,
Like,
but I'm
like-
just giving
like,
you
and by
a
saying
better
like,
example for your argument.
well, it's like we can correlate things in the past, like the witch trials that were going on in Europe, not the Salem ones, where we can't use them, but we see these exact same tactics, correlating the religion to things that do not pertain to it, correlating the beliefs of it to things that do not exist within the majority of it, or at all when it comes to, like, if we even like degrade it
But
down to
I
sex.
guess the point is, do you think that is likely to occur in modern? Like, do you think witch burnings is likely to occur within like Australia, America, England, Germany, France these days?
If we don't start protecting people, yes, because the only reason that those things don't happen
guess
is
yes.
because we
This is
set
where we have to.
protections.
I don't think, considering the trends of society and the irreligiosity of rising irreligiosity of Western society, generationally, I don't think this is a realistic problem. I mean, for Australia, for example, the rates of irreligious has risen from 10 to plus 30% since 1986 to 2016. Literally, it's tripled in 30 years. Generationally, I think it's going to accelerate or stay on the same trajectory for quite a while. It is likely that in another 30 years, Australia is going to be 60 to 70% irreligious.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like we look at places like the Netherlands, and like right now, the Netherlands is the only majority atheist country within the world, at least that I found. And yeah, that's because of a constant critique without attack, but critique of a religion. But the thing is, like when we look at religion things, like when we critique something, we'd have to accurately represent it. I can say that religion is racist, but if I'm not able to back up points with that, then I'm obviously not going to get anywhere. For instance, I can use small cases of people using it to let's see. Like I can use small cases of people using religion in order to attack people based on race and then use that as correlation to racism. But we look at the bigger picture. The majority of Christians who use their religion don't use it to attack blacks or Africans or anything like that. And it has no basis within the religion, even when we go to sites like nobeliefs.com with the Dark Bible. Like there's no correlation between race and being against their religion because of race at all. Right? And so using that saying that religion, like Christianity, is racist because of this. Well, no, it's not, because we look at the bigger picture. That's not what the high majority of them think. That's not what the high majority of them believe, and that's not what the high majority of people who are Christian hold dearly to them. Right? Would you agree with that?
Sorry, give me a second. I'm being spammed about something.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and join us in the Nameless Debates Discord. We hope to see you there.